Disney Plus may start hosting user-generated AI videos. Verizon may cut 15,000 jobs next week. And Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket safely made it to space a second time. It's Friday, November 14th, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. During Disney's latest earnings call, CEO Bob Iger spoke about next steps for the Disney Plus streaming service, and he noted that the entertainment giant has had productive conversations with potential AI partners. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Disney Plus might soon play host to user-generated short-form AI videos. Iger said, "The other thing that we're really excited about that AI is going to give us the ability to do is to provide users of Disney Plus with a much more engaged experience, including the ability for them to create user-generated content and to consume user-generated content, mostly short form, from others." He did not specify which companies Disney has been in talks with or offer any particular timeline for the arrival of Gen AI features. There are already a bunch of ways for people to make and share AI slop videos, so this is not a new concept he's touting, but it is a surprising direction for Disney, which has long been hawkish about protecting both its image and its IP. The company has already made legal moves against multiple different AI platforms, including a cease and desist sent to Character.ai and copyright infringement lawsuits against Midjourney and Hailuo. Iger said he hoped any partnership would reflect our need to protect the IP, and it would almost certainly be a lucrative deal for Disney. But even within the confines of its own platform, this is still quite an about-face for the company to now encourage Gen AI creations of familiar characters. The Wall Street Journal reported that Verizon plans to cut about 15,000 jobs over the next week. Sources told the publication that Verizon is attempting to reduce costs as it faces more competition for wireless service and home internet customers. At the reported scope, this would be the largest reduction in history for the telecom company. Verizon leadership indicated that a sea change was coming in its third-quarter financial report last month, although many of the figures for the period were positive. The company's net income reached $5.1 billion, and most other metrics showed year-on-year growth. However, Verizon highlighted a marked drop in postpaid wireless customers, losing 7,000 customers in that segment compared with a gain of 18,000 in Q3 of last year. CEO Dan Schulman said, "We are going to take bold and fiscally responsible action to redefine Verizon's trajectory at this critical inflection point for our company. These will not be incremental changes." According to the Wall Street Journal, most of the coming cuts will take the form of layoffs, but Verizon may also look to reduce employee count by turning about 200 stores into franchise locations. As the Washington Post reported, Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket has completed its second flight. The rocket launched from Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on Thursday and successfully separated from its first stage booster, which later landed on a sea platform Blue Origin calls Jacqueline. The launch marks the first time the space startup has been able to catch a New Glenn booster for later reuse. The maiden flight of the rocket in January was successful in the sense that it got New Glenn into space, but Blue Origin was not able to save that booster from a watery grave. The company hoped to launch its second New Glenn mission on November 9th, but canceled that one at the last minute due to weather. New Glenn's second mission is also notable because of its payload. The rocket ferried NASA satellites to space that are destined for Mars as part of the agency's Escapade mission. Considering SpaceX's close relationship with NASA, Blue Origin working with the agency could be an important vote of confidence. It could also mean New Glenn is in a good position to help another company founded by Jeff Bezos accelerate its satellite plans. The Post wrote that Blue Origin has an existing agreement with Amazon to launch its recently rebranded Amazon LEO satellites into space. LEO is positioned as a competitor to Starlink, SpaceX's satellite internet service. While SpaceX has completed many more launches with its Starship rocket than Blue Origin has, it's also had more than a few explosive failures along the way. Blue Origin still needs more missions under its belt, but if it can repeat its success with New Glenn, it could prove to be a threat to SpaceX. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Anna Washenko and Ian Carlos Campbell and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with more tech news from Engadget.